Welcome to round two of the Kickoff Western Supersite. I am the moderator, Owen Riley. This game will feature from Illinois, Auburn, and also from Illinois, Buffalo Grove. Both teams enter this game at 1-0. I'm going to start with the buzzer check and have us go around and introduce ourselves, starting with Buffalo Grove.
Hi, I'm Rohan and support Dave Hurwitz's Music Critic channel.
I'm Joe and I'm really good moral support.
I'm Lucas. I'm a staunch National Socialist.
All right. We can have Auburn go around, test your buzzer, introduce yourselves.
I'm Alex and I don't know, I like grapes.
I'm Kobe and I'm a senior.
I'm Sinesio and Alex stole my grapes.
I'm Riel, and I was not expecting the Spanish Inquisition.
All right, here we go. Toss up one. On this painting's left, a man wearing a Scottish checkerboard bonnet faces away from a black man. An Allied bombing raid on Bremen destroyed the original. Rohan.
Napoleon crossing the Alps.
Neg 5. Destroyed the original copy of this painting, in which a body of water its artist had not seen was based on the Rhine. Three women stand in front of this painting in a work satirizing critics of a World War I memorial by Grant Wood. A historically inaccurate flag in this painting is held by James Monroe, who stands in a boat in an icy river. For 10 points, name this Emanuel Leutze painting in which the title First President travels to the Battle of Trenton. Alex.
Washington crossing the Delaware.
10. Bonus 1 to Auburn. This religion teaches that there are 36 levels of heaven and 72 planets with intelligent life for 10 points each. Name this Vietnamese syncretic religion founded by Ngo Van Chiu. Saints venerated in this religion include Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Joan of Arc, and Sun Yat-sen.
Chao Daism, direct.
In Cao Dai, God is symbolized by one of these body parts. Another one of these body parts are protected against by Hamsa amulets.
Eyes, direct.
The three venerable saints in Cao Dai are Sun Yat-sen, Trong Trinh, and this French author of The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Hugo, direct.
30. Toss up 2. Religious persecutions by one monarch following this religion, Du Nuas, contributed to the end of the Himyarite kingdom. Followers of this religion in the Banu Qurayza tribe were defeated at the Battle of the Trench. The Beta community of this religious group in Ethiopia were airlifted to an Asian country and operate. Rohan.
Like Jews.
Power. Bonus 2 to Buffalo Grove. In this play, a character who struggles to multiply 2 times 2 is told he has no ambition by the schoolmaster for 10 each. Name this play in which the officer is later unjustly punished for stealing a penny. Indra's daughter, Agnes, descends to Earth at the beginning of this play.
Our answer is The Father.
A dream play. This author of a dream play wrote about the canary-hating valet Jean in Miss Julie.
Our answer is Strindberg.
Strindberg wrote a dream play in a phase where he was convinced these people were torturing him. 3 of these people in Macbeth sit around a cauldron singing double, double, toil and trouble.
Our answer is Witches.
20. Toss up 3. The 400-year Stella celebrates the 400th anniversary of a cult of this deity centered at Ombos. This deity's domain is infertile because he gouged out the eye of Sinesio.
Set.
Power. Bonus 3 to Auburn. The Kirkwood gaps are dips in the orbital periods of these objects for 10 points each. Name these small rocky astronomical objects which form a namesake belt between Mars and Jupiter.
Asteroids, direct.
This is the largest body in the asteroid belt. After visiting the nearby Vesta, the Dawn space probe visited this object in 2015. Answer.
Ceres, direct.
The location of Ceres matched the prediction of this law. This law states that each planet should be twice as far from the sun as the previous planet.
This law, I'm really bad at this one. No.
Answer.
Kepler's second, direct.
Titius Bode. That's 20.
Oh,
Toss up 4. The Shapiro-Wilk test is used to determine whether a set obeys this distribution. This distribution has the maximum entropy for a given mean and standard deviation. The ERF function arises when defining the CDF of this distribution. For a large number of samples, the distribution of sample means converges to this distribution. Alex.
Normal distribution.
Power. Bonus 4 to Auburn. One person with this last name commissioned multiple brutalist construction projects funded by foreign loans to create a facade of economic progress termed her edifice complex for 10 points each. Give this last name of a woman whose extravagant spending habits were influenced by the Blue Ladies. A leader with this last name was advised by the Rolex 12.
Yeah, Marcos. Marcos, direct.
Both Imelda Marcos and her husband, Ferdinand Marcos, were influential figures in this country's history. Ferdinand Marcos likely ordered Benigno Aquino's assassination in this country's Manila International Airport.
The Philippines, direct.
After the People Power Revolution, Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos fled to this country. A general from this country once told the people of the Philippines he would return from the Leyte Gulf.
USA, direct.
30. Toss-up 5. John Keats wrote a poem titled On Sitting Down to Read This Play Once Again. In this play, a character declares, as flies to wanton boys are we. Rohan.
King Lear.
Power. Bonus 5 to Buffalo Grove. A man in a suit looks at this woman in Paul Cézanne's modern version of a painting titled For Her for 10 points each. Name this title woman of an Edouard Manet painting. A black cat appears at the foot of the bed where this woman reclines with an orchid in her hair while a black maid stands behind her.
Our answer is Olympia.
The title figure of Olympia was modeled by this woman. This frequent model, who also modeled for Manet's Luncheon on the Grass, was an artist as well, painting works such as Palm Sunday.
Our answer is Victorine Morant.
Olympia was inspired by a Titian painting of this goddess of Urbino. Therefore, many viewers. 30. Toss-up 6. A graffiti image of this event was added to a former section of the Berlin Wall in Mauer Park. After this event, one participant apologized many times while giving the longest speech of its kind, and afterward would create a video beginning, "It's been a minute." One participant joked, "That was the greatest night in the history of television." After this event, which was spurred by the joke, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see. Lucas.
Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
10. Bonus 6 to Buffalo Grove. In 2021, the Filipino government criticized the Netflix series Pine Gap for displaying the disputed 9-dash line that one country uses as a border in this sea for 10 points each. Name this sea in which the Philippines disputes control of the Spratly Islands. This sea is named for its position relative to the country that claims territory marked by the 9-dash line.
Our answer is South China Sea.
The Philippines has criticized the 9-dash line for encroaching on its one of these areas. Countries have special rights to resources in these maritime areas, which extend from 12 to 200 nautical miles from a country's shoreline.
Our answer is EEZ.
Pine Gap was also removed from streaming in this country, which Nguyen Duoc Phuc leads from Hanoi.
Our answer is Vietnam.
30. Toss-up 7. Note to players, description acceptable. In response to this event, a king asked, "Is it a revolt?" and received the reply, "No, sire, it is a revolution." 2 days before this event, which was led by Pierre-Augustin Hollin, a crowd marched to the Brielle.
Like women storming the Palace of Versailles.
-5. A crowd marched to the Tuileries protesting the dismissal of financier Jacques Necker. Rohan.
Storming of the Bastille.
Power. Bonus 7 to Buffalo Grove. The title character of one play by this author is forgotten by King Dushyanta after she loses a signet ring in a river for 10 points each. Name this Indian author of works including The Recognition of Shakuntala and The Cloud Messenger.
Our answer is Kalidasa.
Who wrote in this ancient Indian language, which was also used to write Hindu texts such as the Vedas.
Our answer is Sanskrit.
In The Cloud Messenger, a yaksha asks a cloud to take a message to his wife after being exiled from his home in this mountain range. This Asian mountain range includes Mount Everest.
Our answer is the Himalayas.
30. Toss-up 8. In one novel by this author, a member of the rock band VTO, or Muskana, composes the title song called The Ground Beneath Your Feet. Kobe.
Bushy.
Power. Bonus 8 to Auburn. The Christmas factor is part of this process for 10 points each. Name this process where platelets aggregate to prevent excessive bleeding when an artery or vein is injured.
Our answer is coagulation.
This protein causes blood to clot by converting fibrinogen to fibrin. Argatrobin inhibits this protein, which is also called factor 2.
Our answer is VWF.
Thrombin. The ischemic type of this condition occurs when a blood clot occurs in an artery leading to the brain, preventing tissue from receiving oxygen. This condition also occurs when a weakened blood vessel bursts in a hemorrhage.
Our answer is stroke.
20. Toss-up 9. This quantity equals the partial derivative of the Lagrangian with respect to generalized velocity when the Lagrangian... Rohan.
Momentum.
Power. Bonus 9 to Buffalo Grove. This food was the subject of a dispute with the Chinese government after standardization measures on the similar Szechuan Pao Tsai were announced for 10 points each. Name this food traditionally stored in ongi pots buried to their necks in the ground as part of the kimjang process. This fermented dish is usually made with vegetables like radish and cabbage.
Kimchi. Our answer is kimchi.
Kimchi is a traditional dish from this East Asian peninsula divided into 2 countries separated by the Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ.
Our answer is Korean Peninsula.
The vegetables in kimchi are covered in this red chili paste, which originated in the Suncheon, this region of Korea. The fermentation of the glutinous rice used in this sauce causes it to have a slight sweet taste.
Our answer is sriracha.
Gochujang.
Let's go
That's
to
20.
Japan.
Toss-up 10. In one opera by this composer, the aria Recondita Armonia is sung... Alex.
Puccini.
Power. Final bonus of the first half to Auburn. Mehmed IV demanded these people submit to Ottoman hegemony for 10 points each. Named these people who informed Mehmed IV, among other things, that he was the fool of all the world and underworld, an idiot before God, and grandson of the serpents. Yemelyan Pugachev led a revolt of these people.
Like peasants.
Servants.
Answer?
Correct.
What did you say?
Serfs.
Cossacks. Pugachev claims to be the dead husband of this great empress of Russia and launched a rebellion. He was unsuccessful.
Catherine the Great, direct.
The earlier Cossack rebel Stenka Razin was raiding Russia, got distracted, and went for a pillage in this modern-day country instead. The Safavid Empire was centered in this modern-day country.
Iran, direct.
20. Halftime. Score check, please.
I was just
At the half, I have Auburn 185, Buffalo Grove 195.
Toss-up 11. A term in an equation named after a scientist from this country is sometimes replaced by the product of Z and rho. 4 elements were found in and named after the same village in this country. A scientist from this country was the first to estimate the extent and increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide. Rohan.
Sweden.
Power. Bonus 11 to Buffalo Grove. An artist sang how she felt this deep connection when you looked in my eyes before saying, I can't wait to do the title action in this song for 10 points each. Name this song sung by Miley Cyrus, whose Rock Mafia remix is popular on TikTok, apparently. Another song with the same name begins, It's been a long day without you, my friend.
See you again. Our answer is see you again.
See You Again is also the title of a song by this country singer who calls the title person a curse and a drug in Cowboy Casanova.
Charlie Puth. Our answer is Charlie Puth.
Carrie Underwood. The most popular song that went by the name of See You Again is the one by Wiz Khalifa, which features this piano-playing singer whose other hits include Attention.
Our answer is Charlie Puth.
20. The existence of that bonus is not my fault. Toss-up. 12. Note to players. Description acceptable. Opponents of this goal in Boston were organized by Louise Day Hicks into the group Restore Our Alienated Rights. Because she was pregnant out of wedlock, and events organized in support of this goal by E.D. Nixon did not publicize the efforts. Rohan.
Like bus segregation.
Say again.
Bus segregation.
Neg 5. Did not publicize the efforts of Claudette Colvin. This goal was achieved after Aurelia Browder sued Mayor W.A. Gale. Participants in an event with this goal organized carpools and walked after an NAACP secretary was arrested for sitting in a whites-only seat. For 10 points, identify this goal of a boycott in Montgomery sparked by Rosa Parks' refusal to give up her seat on a public transportation vehicle. Sinesio.
eliminating bus segregation.
I will accept that. The answer line is bus desegregation or bus integration. The answer I heard from Buffalo Grove was bus segregation, which is the opposite of the correct answer.
That's unfortunate. Good buzz though.
Bonus 12 to Auburn. One poem by this author ends by stating, such gaudy tulips raised from dung for 10 points each. Name this author of The Ladies' Dressing Room, who also suggested that Irish residents should consume children in his essay, A Modest Proposal.
Swift, direct.
Swift also wrote this novel about the travels of the title character to strange lands. The first island visited in this novel is Lilliput, inhabited by 6-inch tall people.
Our answer is Gulliver's Travels.
While in Lilliput, Gulliver observes a war between the little and big Indians centered around these objects. Lilliput and Blefuscu are sometimes arranged in the shape of one of these objects.
Egg.
Yeah.
Our answer is eggs.
30.
Nice.
Toss-up 13. A system of caves near Don Juan is sometimes named for the presence of many of these objects. Sinesio.
Buddha statues.
Power.
Nice.
Bonus 13 to Auburn. For 10 points each, answer the following about ekphrases in epic poetry. The 7 embroideries of Jason's cloak are described in an ekphrasis in this epic poem by Apollonius of Rhodes. Jason and the title group quest for the Golden Fleece in this poem.
Our answer is Argonautica.
In the Aeneid, Aeneas sees a frieze of the Trojan War in the temple of Juno in this city. Juno plots against Aeneas because of a prophecy stating that the city would fall to Rome in the Punic Wars.
Carthage.
Our answer is Carthage.
In Ovid's Metamorphoses, the 12 figures of the zodiac are depicted in an ekphrasis depicting the temple of this father of Phaethon. Phaethon creates the Sahara Desert after flying too low while driving the chariot of this god.
Our answer is is it Apollo or Helios? Our answer is Helios.
30.
Okay.
Toss-up 14. One poem by this author describes a cake of soap, a wedding ring, and a gold filling. That poem describes a woman who claims... Sinesio.
Our answer is Plath. Oh, okay. My answer
Power.
No.
Bonus 14 to Auburn. Nouri al-Maliki tried to catch one of these objects after they were thrown for 10 points each. Name these objects that Muntadar al-Zaidi chucked at an American leader in 2008 to protest the Iraq War.
What?
What would objects you throw?
Rocks. I don't know.
Sure.
Our answer is rocks.
His shoes. Al-Zaidi threw his shoes at this president. This man served from 2001 to 2009 and was succeeded by Barack Obama.
Our answer is Bush.
Prompt.
HW.
No, W.
Our answer is George W. Bush.
Yes, Bush appointed this first African-American Secretary of State who gave a speech to the UN falsely claiming that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction.
Is it Colin Powell?
Was he Secretary of State?
I don't know.
Our answer is Powell.
20.
Okay, good work.
Sorry, guys.
Toss-up 15. Robert Maynard reported that this man was shot 5 times and cut 20 times before finally dying in a battle near Ocracoke Island. Governor Samuel Regg exchanged medical supplies for prisoners with this man after he set up a blockade around Charlestown in South. Rohan.
Blackbeard.
Power.
Nice.
Nice.
This is bonus 15 to Buffalo Grove. The azimuthal quantum number provides quantitative information regarding the shape of these entities for 10 points each. Name these spaces probabilistically occupied by electrons. The letters S, P, D, and F are used to label atomic types of these entities, which consist of shells that can hold 1 spin up and 1 spin down electron each.
Our answer is orbitals.
Atomic orbitals that participate in chemical bonding exhibit this phenomenon wherein they mix with each other. Carbon in an alkene exhibits the sp2 form of this phenomenon.
Our answer is hybridization.
In diatomic molecules, antibonding orbitals are designated by the letter sigma or pi, followed by the symbol.
Our answer is a negative sign.
It is an asterisk or a star. 20. Can I get a score check?
After 15 tosses, I have a score of 305 for Auburn and 260 for Buffalo Grove.
305 Auburn, 260 Buffalo Grove. We have 5 cycles to go. Toss up 16. The ruins of a labyrinthine structure in this country's northern region are speculated to have been created by the ancient Zonai people. The highest point in this country is found at Lanairu Peak, where the legendary dragon Nidra can supposedly be seen on Alex.
Nepal.
Think 5. Can supposedly be seen on clear nights. The protagonist of a game set in this country falls asleep for 7 years and learns how to play the Ocarina of Time. This country's most populous cities include Hateno and Kakariko, and the villain Ganondorf repeatedly attempts to kidnap its princess. For 10 points, name this country where the Legend of Zelda games, such as Breath of the Wild, take place. Rohan.
Hyrule.
10. Bonus 16 to Buffalo Grove. In Hey Mama by Kanye West, the rapper compares his mother to a book of poetry and lists the name of this poet and Nikki Giovanni for 10 points each. Name this poet who recited On the Pulse of Morning at Bill Clinton's inauguration.
Our answer is Angelou.
Angelo also wrote I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which is one work in this genre. Works in this genre are typically an account of the author's life.
Our answer is autobiography.
A line from this author's poem Sympathy inspired the title for Angelo's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. This poet also wrote We Wear the Mask.
Our answer is Dunbar.
30.
That's hilarious. What are you talking about?
Nepal is Hyrule. So true. Putting the mask on.
Toss up 17. Toss up 17. A man in this book named Dionysus converts to Christianity after another man criticizes the people of Athens for worshiping an unknown god in a sermon at the Areopagus. In this book, Matthias is selected by Lot to replace a man who died. Senesio.
X.
Power.
Nice.
Bonus 17 to Auburn. In this region, rights to land were recorded on egg-shaped stones called kuduru for 10 points each. Name this region meaning between two rivers, where the Sumerians invented cuneiform.
Mesopotamia, direct.
The Sumerians invented textbooks whilst teaching scribes to write at the Aduba, which translates to house of these objects. The Anzu bird steals one of these objects of destinies in a Sumerian epic.
Tablet, direct.
Henry Rawlinson helped decipher cuneiform by translating the Behistun inscription, which was created by this predecessor of Xerxes I, who ordered the first Persian invasion of Greece.
So it's Darius. Darius?
Direct.
Prompt.
Great.
The Great.
30.
Nice.
Toss up 18. In his score to Shall We Dance, this man composed Let's Call the Whole Thing Off, which Ella Fitzgerald covered in one. Rohan.
Duke Ellington.
Next 5. Covered in one of her 3 albums inspired by him. This composer used an A minor pentatonic scale and a blues-inspired aria about when the living is easy, believing she can teach this composer nothing. Sinesio.
Gershwin.
Power. Bonus 18 goes to Auburn. Name some things about the founder of the Illinois Math and Science Academy, Leon Letterman, for 10 points each. No points for guessing who wrote that. Among Letterman's achievements is the discovery of the bottom form of this particle. These fundamental particles come in 6 flavors and make up protons and neutrons.
Our answer is quarks.
Letterman served for some time as the director of this laboratory. This research facility in Batavia, Illinois is home to the Tevatron.
Our answer is Fermilab.
In a 1993 book, Letterman helped popularize the term God particle to describe this particle. This particle's namesake field gives mass to certain fundamental particles.
Our answer is Higgs boson.
30.
We are up by 95. Okay. Wait, can I get a score check?
You may get a score check.
After 18 toss-ups, I have a score of 390 for Auburn, 295 for Buffalo Grove.
All right.
Wait,
Toss up
sorry.
19.
It sounds like you said 290.
390 to 295.
Okay.
Yeah.
390 Auburn, 295 Buffalo Grove. We all good?
Yes.
Does anybody have an objection to the score?
No.
Good. Toss up 19. This geographic location is where the parasite Philornis downsea was discovered. This geographic location is home to the big bird lineage, one of the first observed examples of hybrid speciation. Part of this location, Daphne Major, is where Peter and Rosemary Grant conducted longitudinal studies. A group of organisms inhabiting this archipelago underwent adaptive radiation. Sinesio.
Galapagos.
Power. Bonus 19 to Auburn. This work is the second one that its composer marked quasi una fantasia, or like a fantasy for 10 points each, named the C-sharp minor piano sonata, whose first movement opens with right-hand triplets. Ludwig Rellstab compared that movement to light reflecting off of Lake Lucerne.
Our answer is Moonlight Sonata.
This deaf German composer of the Moonlight Sonata also wrote for Elise.
Our answer is Beethoven.
The Moonlight Sonata's lighthearted second movement is in this genre, whose name means joke in Italian. Beethoven often used these dances as the third movement of his symphonies, replacing the minuet.
Our answer is Scherzo.
30. Toss up 20. In one poem, this man is described as having huge laughing cockroaches on his top lip. Rohan.
Stalin.
Power. Bonus 20 to Buffalo Grove. This fictitious object orbits the sun between Earth and Mars, but is too small to be detected for 10 points each. Name this fictitious object, which one philosopher used to show that the burden of proof lies on those making unfalsifiable claims, not those aiming to disprove them.
Our answer is teapot.
Bertrand Russell compared his teapot to this being because he believed that neither's existence could be proven. Russell also wrote Why I Am Not a Christian about his lack of belief in this being.
Our answer is God.
In Why I Am Not a Christian, Russell refuted the first cause argument, one of 5 proofs for the existence of God posited in this work by Thomas Aquinas.
Our answer is Summa Theologica.
30. Final score, please.
Final score is 435 for Auburn, 340 for Buffalo Grove.
Good
Very
game.
good.
Game.
Good game.
Excellent game.